Juni tarehe 30 itakumbukwa kwamba ni siku ambayo rais mteule William Ruto alisoma manifesto yake mbele ya taifa la Kenya. Manifesto 12 ambayo atangazia mipango yake kwa Wakenya kwa miaka 5 ijayo. Je, Ruto atafiki manifesto yake kama rais wa 5 wa taifa? Mwanahabari wetu Moses Okechi ameketi na mwanaharakati Sikolia Kisaka kupata uhalisia wa manifesto hii. Tupate taarifa hiyo.
Muungano wa Kenya Kwanza ulitoa manifesto ya masuala 10 ambayo yataangazia anga ya serikali yake. Kinara wa muungano huu William Ruto alisoma kuwa mwaka 2023 mwaka 2027 wa fedha kwa sekta ya kilimo utaweza kutengewa shilingi bilioni 250.
Well, when you talk about agriculture, it's interesting that it's actually the first thing that he talked about. Going back, you'll find that first of all, the president-elect, he's actually a farmer as well.
Nazungumza na Sikoli Kisaka, mwanamikakati ambaye ananielezea hali halisi ya sekta ya kilimo ambayo ndio nguzo kuu ya uchumi wa taifa.
We are very, very weak. It is actually a terrible state. I would say up to this point, the government has largely abandoned farmers. We are on our own. And yet, when you look at the organic fertilizer, for those who are using it, it's a lot cheaper and it's readily available. But then, because government has not gone in that direction and helped to sensitize people about it, helped to support the people who are in that business, we are seeing people struggling and even at times planting without any fertilizer just because they couldn't get this other fertilizer.
Rais anayeondoka Uhuru Kenyatta alikuwa na miradi zinazoendelea ikiwemo barabara na hospitali. Je, Rais William Ruto atazimaliza kama alivyoandika kwenye manifesto yake?
Instead of just, maybe getting into that office and discarding everything and just starting from fresh with what an individual's plans are, I would hope that, and especially in this situation, because he was a DP. So he was essentially in that government, right? And so he may have sanctioned quite a number of those projects. I will be waiting to see how he's going to handle the pending projects or the projects that are not yet completed. Because before you start on new projects, look and see from the projects that are already underway, that are already in flight, how many of those feed into your manifesto.
Na kwenye sekta ya elimu,
he wasn't for CBC. I will be waiting to see what his experts will come and say, okay, how are we going to redefine this? Because I don't know whether they will decide to scrap it off, which again will put us into another spin. I don't know whether they will decide and say, okay, we're going to let it go, but we are going to see how to modify it into a better system. Then now from there, we can be able to see, so where do we need to go? How do we need to improve on this? 844 was not working for us because it's theory. CBC is supposed to be practical, but then is it really practical, right? And how are we supposed to then change it and make it what it was supposed to be? Whoever envisioned it, right? The professionals that came up with all that, are we implementing it the way it was supposed to be implemented, as opposed to complaining about it and saying it's not working and we need to scrap it?
Unahisi kuwa Ruto atayafiki manifesto yake yote?
I believe there's a potential to achieve each and every one of those is possible, but the first place that he needs to start upon is corruption. Corruption is what is going to be the stopper that's going to make it impossible to achieve any one of these. But then if he deals with corruption, all the rest are achievable.
Na manifesto tatimizwa kwenye serikali yake?
I would say this, if he asked me to get it to fruition for him, I would.
Wow.
So if I think I can do it, I believe he has a team that can. So the question is he going to be able to lead his team into fulfilling every one of those manifesto points?
Rais William Ruto anapochukua hatamu za uongozi kwa miaka 5 zijazo, taifa la Kenya linatarajia kuwa atatimiza matakwa aliyoahidi kwenye manifesto yake na kuondoa ufisadi nchini. Moses Okechi, Look Up TV.
Taarifa hiyo, na hivi sasa tunachukua mapumziko tena, tunarudi, usiende mbali.